Alright, CIE has cancelled exams, and this time I'm not talking about the UK, I'm not talking about Pakistan, but I'm talking about the entire world. And the question might arise, from where did you get this information, Dipro? So I'm gonna be pasting it right here, and you can see that this is the official CIE website where they have clearly stated, today, therefore, we have taken the difficult decision not to run our international examinations in the May-June 2020 series in any country. This includes Cambridge IGCSE, Cambridge O-Level, Cambridge International AS and A-Levels, Cambridge AICE Diploma, and Cambridge PU. So yeah, this is for CIE Cambridge only, but then again, there was a question of what's gonna happen with Edexcel, and even they released a similar report the next day. So now the question is, should we be happy or should we be sad? And what's gonna happen next? Like, I've been receiving a lot of inbox considering that I probably had a small role in cancelling the exams in Bangladesh. I made this post, which you can see right now, and that got a lot of shares, and I also emailed it to British Council, which takes the exams in our country. And of course I know that I'm talking silly, but I helped a bit. So yeah, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen with private students? And are predicted grades gonna come into account? Is there gonna be a small exam or mock that is being speculated? How are the grades gonna be calculated? What's gonna happen to the O-level students? So this video is gonna cover up every single thing. Of course, these are all assumptions based on whatever is happening around the globe, because nobody knows what's gonna happen. So yeah, stay tuned and watch till the end of the video. So today is the 25th, and it clearly states that we will provide an update for schools on Thursday, 26th March, and as regularly as possible, and they're gonna keep us updated after that. However, I believe that above CIE in this position, the exam settings are gonna play a really important role, because even if CIE tells us to hold the exams, if the schools think that it's unsafe, if they do not agree with all the points the CIE is sending them, the school exams are not going to be happening, and it's going to happen based on predicted grades, which is the number one thing. But if you guys scroll down below, they have sent us two files, and one of them includes this guidance to Cambridge schools COVID-19 outbreak. So it's a form that needs to be filled up by the counselor for every single student, probably. So this basically consists of things like university, student name, application number, blah blah, and then it moves on to some descriptive questions. For example, description of the impact on learning of the student, on family or non-school environment where applicable, other mitigating factors, record of prior learning, for example mock test or assessment test, and record of previously achieved grades in AS level and Cambridge IGCSE. So this basically states that if the school considers not taking any further exams or mocks, they're going to be considering the further grades based on this report. This report is going to be, it's not only an academic approach but a holistic approach to the student, considering what the student is capable of achieving in the future examinations. And this might be a good thing and this might be a bad thing, but I think that in order for this to have a positive impact, you must have good relationships with your teachers and counselors, so that you can personally talk to them about what your situation is. Because normally I've seen people who do not study well in AS levels, and of course AS level to me was a bit hard because it consisted of MCQs, which is probably one of the hardest things that I've ever sat for, and that is one of the main reasons my SAT scores aren't that great, because I have a phobia with MCQs. But I realized that if I study well, then A2 was comparatively easier to score because most of it was descriptive. So yeah, it kind of depends from person to person. And of course, if the exams were to be held right now, we, the students, also have a mental ability and strength which probably the other people are not going to understand. But you guys are, because we fall in the same age category. So yeah, it kind of depends from person to person. And I also see someone writing about the possibility of having mock examinations. Now coming to that, do you guys really think it's feasible for a school to host examinations right now, or even in May, June, when all the things in the world, starting from event shows and examinations, are cancelled? Like, this is totally gonna be backfiring on all the schools out there who are at least planning to do this. I don't know if the school is planning or whether the teachers are spreading the news for the sake of continuing coachings or whatsoever. But I'm being really honest, this is really a very stupid idea, because exams are cancelled and you guys are thinking of hosting exams in your schools. I mean, who's gonna go there to give the exams? You're gonna have to take exams from the empty chairs and tables. And furthermore, who are those invigilators who are even bothered of taking an exam, conducting an exam? Forget the students. And just consider this: if a single person gets affected from coronavirus, and honestly, you never know because the symptoms take 7 to 14 days to at least show in a person. So, what if at least one person later on gets affected? Is it gonna, like, the blame is gonna go on the schools because they actually gave permission to host it, or is the blame gonna go to CIE who actually have a plan of doing so? But honestly speaking, as there is no record of anything over here, so you guys should not need to be worried about this because it's not even finalized. But based on what I know, based on all my research, talking to at least 15 or 16 schools overall, they said that it's completely gonna based on either predicted grades or mock examinations. Now the question is, sometimes the mock examinations are not that easy, and in fact sometimes the question papers are extremely hard. So I think there's nothing to be worried about, because if you suffer in your school for something like this, the entire student body is gonna suffer for the same reason. So I believe that there's nothing to be scared of, because probably I don't think a school is gonna do something like this, because we are a part of that institution, and there's no reason, like, to me, to see a school negatively advantaging a person. So yeah, we shouldn't need to be worried about that. Let's just leave that to the teachers right now, because teachers are going to leave an end predicted grade that's going to be checked by not only the counselors but also by one of the CIE members, and eventually it's going to be sent off to them, and it's up to them, the CIE members, that are going to decide our further grades. And talking about that, if someone gets 70% in their AS level and their predicted grade is A star, that's not feasible. So they're going to understand if the student has the potential to get that or not. So yeah. And about O-levels, honestly, I don't think that there's any other option but to retake the exams in the ON session or the May June session of 2021, because this is only for AS and A-levels that I'm talking about, because we actually give AS, which determines our A2 grades. And for the AS people and the O-level people, I guess you guys have to wait. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not a good news for everyone. This might be good for someone, this might be bad for someone. So, and we never know what's gonna happen. The main concern right now is the coronavirus, not giving exams or not. So it's better if we stay safe in our homes and do not think about things like this, and just move forward. Also guys, this is me editing the video, and I realized that not every one of us give our exams in the schools. So what are gonna happen to those people who are gonna give their exams in 5-star hotels? For example, in Bangladesh, it's like Radisson, Peninsula, and Agrabad Hotel. These top-notch places will never allow a gathering of 200 to 300 people, because it's gonna be risky to them as a hotel and to the environment in general. So yeah, these are things that you guys need to consider before bowing down to all these speculations. And about the private candidates, I have very little idea about what the private candidates and how the private exam system normally goes on, but I talked with a couple of private students, and they were told by their exam hosts, for example British Council in this case, to sit for an exam later on. I mean, honestly, the ones who are looking for answers right now, like answers for justice or something, why it's not happening this time, you must understand that we are going through a pandemic that has never happened before since 1920, I guess. And I don't think 1920 had O-levels or A-levels, so this is the first time we're experiencing something like this. So we are concerned about giving the exams, and they are concerned about taking the examination. So there's no one to blame right now at this moment, and the ones who are concerned about what's gonna happen, this thing is causing the entire world to skip 1 year. And for us who already got into universities, we have a problem with our visas. And even if we get the visas, whether are we gonna go there, and are we able to conduct the orientation on time or not. So everything is gonna depend on what is happening later on in our life. And I'm really sorry this video is not that scripted, because I've received a lot of questions, and of course this seems really weird for the exams to be cancelled, but still we are hanging around thinking about what's gonna happen with our grades. But I think that if you are potential for getting an A star, you're gonna receive an A star eventually, and that's not gonna matter that much. So yeah. And of course, we are subjected to memes. So there's this great group of people called the nerd community, where people were predicting their grades, and predicting what's gonna happen. So this guy Sato Tanjiro stated private grades কেমনে predict করতে পারে, and that means how are the predicted grades gonna be predicted for the private candidates. And someone in the comment section below answered Jyotishi diye. That means by the philosopher. And someone said Bati Jala, light the candle. And Moner Madhuri Mishie. These are all funny answers. Depends on their mood. So yeah. And I don't know from where those people got this screenshot. This was super weird for me. Let me show you. So yeah, there are some invalid sources that are stating that for predicted grades, students may have to sit for mock tests arranged by schools and British Council Bangladesh. This is for Bangladesh only, by the way, after the coronavirus pandemic is over. Now the question is, dear sir, do you know that what a pandemic stands for? A pandemic does not end in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. When are you going to take the exams, obviously? And based on the outcome of this examination, the board will issue predicted grades. It is likely that British Council or Pearson Bangladesh will provide the examination script and send representatives or invigilators to ensure fair conduct of mock tests hosted by schools. I have no idea what sort of invigilators you guys actually hire who are gonna risk their lives for this pandemic and come to take exams for us. Are you gonna provide them with thousands of dollars or shit? I don't know, but this is not feasible enough. And I don't know, is this even valid? Like, people are making up stuffs at this moment. Well, I think so. And the funniest part of this all was given by this school called Academia. They stated
that in the meantime, we will request the students to solve past paper years from year January 2015 to January 2019 of every subject, and that you will be appearing in May June 2020. Submit the documents between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. on 11th of April 2020 at the admin office of your respective academia campuses. We advise to submit your assignment in clear bags, blah 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 blah. We have no alternative but to take mock exams as soon as situation permits for assessing the caliber of students. Therefore, we expect to see that you people will cooperate with us in implementing some measures, blah blah blah. Academia school.
Now, honestly, what I think is these are all done by the hackers who are really bored sitting in their houses for long, and now they're up to creative stuffs to, you know, disturb the entire population. I mean, that's what hackers do. So I guess this is not something to be perturbed or to be really tensed off, because these are not valid sources. Telling you guys one more time, these are not valid sources. It's not possible to take an examination right now. I've talked to the teachers and they were like, predicted grade is the last hope that we have for, because exams at this moment cannot be conducted. The world is getting shut down. And if you talk about the AP classes in US, I've talked with a friend and they said that it's postponed until further notice. I don't know where I'm living right now, but these things should stop immediately, because these actually put pressure on a student personally. So I guess this is it for the video. If you guys have any questions regarding what's gonna happen and what's about to happen, please put them down below. This might help another student who is up to the same thing. So yeah, this is it for this video. Stay funky, stay blessed, and subscribe to DB Down. Oh wait, knuckle up.